telephone and no water. We in the middle of a big power failure. I'm sorry, but the breakdown is governmental, and it's because of fatigue, physical and mental. It's useless that we continue to blame a horse that is tired and almost lame. If government can't cope nowadays, the nation could send them for holidays. Now this is not an overthrow. I am saying that we must kick them out just so. So please don't jump to any hasty conclusion and cause any confusion. But they exhausted from working too long, so before they suffer from a nervous breakdown, as a loving nation we all could now suggest that Dr. William and the PNM take a rest. Since Dr. William took over the nation, I can't recall he went on vacation. In the last decade I heard him repeat that he willing to take a back seat. So read between the lines, friends, and understand that these are the words of a tired man. So the next sober thing left to do is for the nation to say a hearty thank you. So you see, this is not an overthrow, but if they're tired, I don't see why they can't go. And all who feel that I am anti-PNM, well, I got some news for them. You see, all of them who don't want him to go, they get accustomed to the free Kokioko. But I suggest a nice rest now for the doc, before the poor man drop down on the walk. Party into power, give PNM a chance to recover. Let that new party know that they can't be slack, that PNM on holidays and they put that back. I say put a next party into power and give PNM a chance to recover. Let this new party know that they can't be slack, that PNM on holidays and they could tack back. And if this party perform up to satisfaction, we can even give them an extension. I don't intend to incite trouble, just suggesting a democratic reshuffle. So you see, this is not an overthrow. I am saying that we must kick them out just so. So please don't jump to any hasty conclusion and cause any confusion. But they exhausted from working too long, so before they suffer from a nervous breakdown, as a loving nation we all could now suggest that Dr. William and the PNM take a rest. It was under your guidance that we achieved independence, along with free secondary education and an increase in old people pension. But morality in public affairs was replaced by corruption in recent years. And then the word started to spread around that Dr. William know and he encouraging wrong. So Dr. William, please make haste. I am suggesting that you now bow out in grace, because I heard it and I don't like the rumor that you're a backseat driver.
Politics, we had some technological issues, so you get in Douglar politics, normal live, no studio, no thing. Unfortunately, all these videos and things that I had for you, plan out, to go along with my discussion, we won't be getting those today. But you take my word for it, because I always like to back up what I say with facts. So, but all they know me long enough to know that no matter how much I detest Keith Christopher Rowley, I will never lie on him. So share the live. Douglar politics begins now. Vishnu, we good to go? I don't know if we all hearing me. If you're not hearing me, we going. Happy, holy Palm Sunday to all the Christians in Trinidad and Tobago and all others who want to celebrate Palm Sunday. And we're coming up to the holiest period in the Christian calendar this week. So God bless you all. Let me start with Tuna Puna. I want to really say a heartfelt thank you to all the people who are joining the UNC. All the people who now understand that politics is not a game. It's not a football game where my team win, we do a dance, and then we suffer for 5 years. Politics impacts your lives. So you have to get into politics. You have to read and understand who you want to vote for, why you want to vote for them, what's important to you, your children, your safety, your education, the cost of living, whatever it is. You have to look at both sides, look at what is being offered, and make an intelligent choice. And I'm seeing across the east-west corridor in the northeast, yesterday in Tunapuna, people coming out in their droves of all ethnicities, all colors, all religions, all races, all people coming out to join with the yellow of the UNC under Kamla Prasad Visesa. So well done to all the UNC soldiers who went out and to all those who came to see us. Thank you. Let me talk a little football. I see that, we finished some football there, and Angus Eve defends his tactics against Nicaragua in the costly draw. Let me say to you, Angus Eve, well done. Okay, we didn't get what we wanted. We're disappointed not to qualify automatically for the Gold Cup. But Angus Eve, my brother, you have brought us from the cesspit of football under Terry Fennick, under Haddad, under the Normalization Committee, where we drew with Puerto Rico, played an entire match with our flag flying upside down. We drew with Bahamas, with some fat fellas belly bigger than mine, under Terry Fennick. So Angus Eve, you have brought back some pride to Trinidad and Tobago football. Take your time. You're doing very well. We could watch the game and we could see a philosophy, a concept, a strategy, skilled players, attacking. We could see some soca warrior spirit building. Rome wasn't built in a day. So well done, Angus Eve. Those stress. Yes, you wanted to lick out Nicaragua and go straight in. All right. That's okay. We're proud of the boys. You all did well. You fought. We could see some improvement. But one thing I will say, Angus, you know Nicaragua. You know Central American teams. You played against them since you was a little boy. You know Nicaragua was coming there to waste time. You know Nicaragua wanted a draw. You know if a blade of grass touched them on the ankle, they will dive and roll and stay down there for 3 minutes. So don't say that those tactics bothered you. You knew they were coming with that. All right, my brother? So you have to deal with that, and you should have buried them early. To the Honorable Minister of Sport, take your time and read a book, watch a video, watch a documentary, watch a sports news, read a sports paper, something, man. Because you embarrass yourself when the entire football-loving public is disappointed, the players disappointed, the coaches disappointed, because we had a game at home to beat Nicaragua to qualify automatically for the Gold Cup. You posting on Facebook, congratulations, we qualified. You don't even know what is the position. We ain't qualified, we have to go into the pre-qualification tournament. So we get some extra games, but we did not qualify. We did not achieve our goal. You celebrating and you want a balance and have party. If a little bit more, you want to run in the cabinet and get some money to reward the fellas for drawing in Tobago. So Shamfa, you're there a long time. We know you don't like sport. We know you don't like anything to do with sport. But somebody, either you read something or tell somebody next to you to whisper in your ears now. Move the weave aside just so, oh God, look my thing fall out. Sorry. I am using it really, you know. So let me take out that, yes. Move the weave aside, like how I move the AirPods. And let somebody whisper in your ear, no, girl. We really needed a win to go through and to qualify automatically. Yes, we should have beaten Nicaragua because we are a bigger side than Nicaragua. We higher rank than Nicaragua. Nicaragua qualified for the Gold Cup first time like that. And we didn't get promotion to the Nations Cup, CONCACAF Nations Cup, Group A. We stuck down in Group B. Somebody tell Sheena before they embarrass all the minister. Clubs face prospect of economic hardship, express business. Now, you see, when they talk race, you all run them now. Trinidad and Tobago, we are no race. All of we is Trinbagonians. You want to know why? Kamala Prasad says, who the Prime Minister, Keith Rowley, and his PNM fanatics like to say that's an Indian lady, and she only like Indian people, right? As ridiculous as it is. That's what they try to say. When she was there, the TT Pro League got upwards of $15 million per year. Plus all the clubs got up to $83,000 to pay salaries and so on. Plus there was sponsorship across the board from government agencies to keep the Pro League running. 5 different trophies, competition, FA Cup, everything running. Plus the Super League, plus the national team, plus colleges football. You didn't have to pay to use the stadium. Plus the stadium were maintained properly. Plus girls football, women's football, school football, primary school football across the board, including community football in all the at-risk communities, breaking down the borderline. That was the Indian Prime Minister. That was Kamala Prasad Bisesa. This is Keith Christopher Rowley and Shamfa Kujo, where they limited sponsorship hurting football. Teams need to have control of their own grounds. They can't get their own grounds. Hard to meet monthly payroll for players. Professional football is finally playing again in Trinidad and Tobago. It's finally playing again. Stop and don't say COVID. It was crashing out before COVID because of the lack of investment by the PNM. But when Kamala puts investment in the sport of football, you all understand that she believes in what she's doing. Spotlight on student athletes, front page of the Newsday. Look at this. Spotlight. Right? It might be backwards. I don't know if all you're seeing it properly. On student athletes, ministers, entries, boss, learn from Jamaican champs. Now, I don't know where to start with this. But let me start with this picture. Only look at the picture. And let me tell the Honorable Prime Minister of Jamaica, with all due respect, sir, I don't know what kind of discussions, what sort of meetings, or what sort of giggles or jokes you had with our Honorable Minister of Education. But sir, that's not proper protocol. Okay? And to Minister Gadsby Dolly, you're the Minister of Education of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. It is not okay for any Prime Minister or any leader to be hugging you up like you're in a carnival band. Okay? Really and truly, I don't know what you said or how you made the Honorable Prime Minister feel so comfortable. And on the other side, the Minister of Sport have she hand talking nice to wholeness. Y'all, could somebody, some public servant, some permanent secretary, some retired permanent secretary, somebody have a little protocol meeting and decorum and how to conduct themselves with these PNM ministers now? What they think it is, I don't understand. See, it was Paula Gopi School nearly pulling off Obama jacket in the airport, and now these PNM ministers now. Let me get into that. That was just a minor point. This is the Minister of Sport and the Minister of Education. And the entries executive that has been in and around that for 40 years. And this executive is a different president, but same group of people who run in the sport for the last 15 years. They have said that they are gone because Rowley just jump up one day and say, well, we need to learn from Jamaica about track and field. So a set of your taxpayers' money just jump up to send 2 ministers and a whole entourage to Jamaica to see their high school champs, their track and field champs, championship running, school games, like how we just have school, secondary school sport, intercall game, but they just take it seriously since especially 1976. They send them there to learn what to do for sport. Now soak that in a bit first, you know. Being a minister of anything, in this case, Minister of Sport and Minister of Education, That's the pinnacle of your life, your education, your experience, your work, your creativity, what you have done in your life will prepare you as you know you're moving into that sphere. So you come in with a knowledge and a base ready for action to create and move something forward. In the PNM, they reach the pinnacle, the highest job that you could impact policy, impact people's lives, impact the future generation, impact the pathways available to children. And after 8 years, them go in Jamaica to watch a running race to learn how to do a sport and how to develop the sport for the youth them. You know, it's not even funny. I don't want to cry. If you all find that that is right, if in Trinidad and Tobago you find that the Minister of Sport needs to go to a Jamaica Champs to see Jamaica schools run in excitement with 27,000 people in the National Stadium in Jamaica to say, all they tell me what to do for sport, well, not all sport, they're just for track and field. And then they come now, they have discussions. This is the highest level. Spotlight on student athletes. Promising athletes are slipping through the cracks in Trinidad and Tobago. Really? We have some getting catch with gun, some getting murder on football field, a youth man playing football. The man all in movement, coaches, no hope, no help, no investment, no league, no professional. They're slipping through the crack. They're not slipping through no crack. They're falling into the abyss of PNM incompetence. George Commission lamented this on Friday and called for local schools to play a bigger role in helping identify young talents in a similar way to how it is done in Jamaica. Right? He said they had bilateral discussions on sports and education between the two countries. On Monday, Minister Kujo noted that many people in TNT say there should be something similar to champs in TNT. Something similar. So we don't have no inter-school track and field championship. We don't have no inter-fun. We don't have no primary school. We don't have no Milo games. We don't have nothing. We have that. Chamfer, you now realize, you don't know we have that. You now go in there to find out what? To have what? To get 27,000 people in there? How do we get 27,000 people? How do we get the interest up in track and field in Trinidad and Tobago like Jamaica? What you now going to find out what Jamaica did? These entries, people pretending they don't know what Jamaica did. 1976, we had gold in the 100. We would have had gold in the 200 had Hazley not celebrated and twist his ankle when he was celebrating down the track after winning from lane 1. Don Quarry won. He got silver and he got gold in the 200. Jamaica has had great athletes from way back. Herb McKinley come forward. But after 1976, they really took it seriously. And they didn't just depend on talent coming up. They got in every primary school highly qualified, trained coaches with talent identification and with science base. And the PE teachers could identify talent and prepare talent in a growth and maturational level for the ages from 4 years old come up. And they went on and they put the excitement and then the requisite competition from the Olympics and the World Championship brought the excitement and the desire and a way out to get to diversify, to be able to get sustainable jobs. And Jamaica paid attention to the athletes. They didn't invest no big set of money, but they invested in their intellectual capital. And that's what they did. It's no rocket science. Jamaica has done that. But here in Trinidad and Tobago, all of this y'all went to do. All y'all had to do was save the taxpayer money on all them ticket first class and business class to Jamaica. All the hotel, all you spend, whether the Pegasus or wherever all you stay. All you had to do was call Kamala. Just dial, say, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, when you were there, what were you doing in sport? Because more than this, Kamala Prasad Bisesa was getting involved in sport, not only in the schools, in the clubs across the board, so that children would not fall through the gaps, so that talent identification scouts would be there, Kamala Prasad Bisesa had the sport development officers. It was at 30, she increased it to 75, where they would go out into the communities and coach coaches and coach parents and athletes, identifying talent and guiding them. Kamala Prasad Bisesa had the sport camps during the Easter and summer vacations for over 20,000 children, including the differently able. Kamala Prasad Bisesa increased the NPI vote, which is the investment in sport and development at the grassroots level, club level, school level, primary school level, secondary schools level, from $10 million and national level to $140 million level. Kamala Prasad Bisesa was creating and on the way sports medicine science complexes at the 4 stadia in Trinidad and 1 in Tobago. Y'all shuttered all of that. Kamala Prasad Bisesa had a cabinet note approved there to bring Chinese coaches for synchronized swimming, diving, archery, hockey, and table tennis. You all have that cabinet note there. You did nothing. Kamala Prasad Bisesa was going to make sure every constituency had 25-meter pools available to all schools and make swimming compulsory for all children under the age of 8, so that children will not only be able to be water competent and not drown when they reach adults, but the coaches will get their eyes on them. Kamala Prasad Bisesa was spending money to ensure and liaise with the University of the West Indies and their sporting faculty for managers, each manager to be paid by the government to work with the 49 sporting organizations to get them more professional, to get away from the nepotistic ways of people and parents only being interested in their own child. Kamala Prasad Bisesa was moving sport into an industry. She moved and created was continuing to create a cluster of sport, for sport tourism in Couva. The Atto Bolden Stadium was there. The Balmain Cricket Center was there. She put the cycling velodrome and the aquatic center. A BMX Olympic Center was also to come there. These facilities were to remain open to the public so that tens of thousands of children could go there every week, which would have encouraged private sector businesses to build a little strip mall, to build a little health food, a gym, a little hotel would have come up. Offices, doctors' offices, massage therapists, any sort of education classes, lessons, teachers, those things would have developed in that area, creating commerce. This was Kamala Prasad Bisesa's development of sport going across the board. And you just talking about track and field. She was talking about auto sport, drag racing, karting. Look, one of our Trini Jamaican boy is in the F1 Academy and he don't want to fly the Trinidad flag because y'all don't even understand how good he is. Dylan Carter is going for Olympic gold and I'm hearing he's not even receiving full elite funding. Y'all asking people like Olympic gold medalist Richard Thompson if he is still elite. Y'all a total joke. Y'all got to sit down in a championship, watch some race and feel you learn something about sport. You know nothing. You are the pinnacle of sport, the minister of sport, and you're a total clown. All you have no shame. I could go on and on, but me at time, all you should have just called Kamala. You didn't have to go to Jamaica to find out nothing. Call Kamala. What you was doing, where you was going, why you do all those things, how you improve the tracks, how you were maintaining and going to operationalize that the places, all the facilities could be used free by people. So because a blend of culture, soca carnival make money, and sport free, maintaining all of the facilities. Every facility we have is now dilapidated. The cycling velodrome, the wood warping because the air conditioner didn't work for 18 months. The AstroTurf at the National Hockey Center, $3.5 million wasted, not a hockey ball roll yet. Gary Griffith come and build one in the barracks there on Saturday and Sunday. You see hockey playing the National Tennis Center, somebody the courts cracking because they're not maintaining it properly. All the places are ghost town with cobweb. The aquatic center have more pigeon in it, tutuing on top the swimmer's head when they're doing backstroke. That's what PNM does. You all have no clue what you're doing in any form of fashion. And the media prints that on a front page to say, hey, our ministers are going to learn some secret. Oh my goodness, they went to Jamaica to see Jamaicans run. The girl run 10.92. Where my girl's going to run 10.92? Where are you getting that from? Just so, you saw it there. Oh, you come and touch one. And now one of my athletes will go 10.92. The young boy went 9.99. What are we going to do? Go and find somebody? Hey, poop. Shampa went so. Look, new Shampa, not old Shampa. And she's going to touch you. And magically, But yet in Hazy Crawford Stadium, all kind of money spending because you're hosting Commonwealth Youth Games. You're hosting and spending 150 million to gallery yourself and give out contract for man to pave stadium. Let me tell you how different Kamala Persad-Bissessar is to Keith Rowley and the PNM. When I was minister, the sport company was just maintaining the stadium and going to pave. I get a call at 2:30 a.m. I see Prime Minister. I say, Honorable Prime Minister, yamping my eye, all kind of, good morning, morning. She said, Minister, I'm hearing that you are doing some paving work in the Hazy Crawford Stadium. I said, yes, ma'am, as part of the refurbishment and maintenance, yes, definitely. I heard that they are cutting down some trees. I said, ma'am, I really don't know about no tree. And she said, well, I heard so. So please find out and tell whoever is there, do not cut down any tree. Well, I called the chairman of the sport company and said, hey, wake up, boy. What going on there? He said, well, there are some trees that kind of halfway dying. I said, dying, half dying. I said, don't touch no tree. The boss say, leave the trees. Environment thing, I say, pave properly around them trees. You know right now, the PNM lick down every tree inside the stadium there, by movie town on that side. I don't even care. I'm just showing you the little attention to detail that Kamala Persad-Bissessar as a Prime Minister, as opposed to Rowley. Rowley don't even know why I just talk about it. And he is Mr. Golfing Prime Minister. I wonder if he went to Tobago and kick the ball again. Speeding drivers, heavy trucks, damaged Manzanilla bypass road. Ladies and gentlemen, about the video I would show there. But about 4 or 5 months ago, wherever, after the flooding, when the whole Manzanilla, except Pamzanilla, float away into the sea, Rohan went and Rohan put a gravel road. No picture, no asphalt, no nothing. And going to pretend that he do something and says 14 million. I laugh at that till I get asthma. Now the whole thing mash up, of course. When I set up auto, people can't do nothing. Rohan come to blame heavy truck. He didn't pave it, you know, but heavy truck. That's what they vote for. PNM government handled the economy well. Says Colm Imbert. This is the man who was telling me 5 years ago, we're booming, and all your suffering. All the walk we walk throughout the East-West corridor. Jobs, no work, place hard. Exactly. Because Colm Imbert don't care about all your thing nice for he. Favorable, but after Colm says that now all of y'all know, you're living outside there, me I need to tell you that thing hard, even people who are good work, who ain't getting no salary increase, that they want to give you 4%, even though food price inflation alone, since Kamala gone, is 49.5%. Food price inflation for the last year, 17.33%. But them want to tell you, take a 0.00110011. That's what the PNM come into y'all with and then say, vote for we. Because them UNC don't like you. Well, here comes the central bank governor. Now, what y'all think the central bank governor going to say? Is this an independent central bank governor? Or is this a central bank governor handpicked by the PNM after they wrongfully fired Jawala Rambaran, who then win them in court, and you have to pay Jawala 7.5 million? What y'all think? And this, let me just let y'all know before you talk. This central bank governor is the neighbor of Keith Christopher Rowley in Inez Gate in Tobago. The property that he didn't fill out in his integrity form, he put the wrong valuation, he lied and signed it. 1.2 million when he paid 33,600 in stamp duty, which equates to a value of 1.68 million. And he did not declare that benefit of 468,000 and come and tell y'all, I'm a good negotiator. I purchased real estate. He didn't tell you he got one for his daughter also. Well, Alvin Hilaire, the central bank governor, is his neighbor, along with Newman George and Bridget, and he said George and Ingrid Lashley, who are 9 board, and Gilbert Peterson, who is now the senior counsel in charge of discipline. In charge of the disciplinary committee of the Law Association or the legal profession. Yes, the Chief Justice, who put on a jersey, he put on a vest, and then appoint Gilbert Peterson, a man who's a senior counsel, never do nothing about bunkering. All of a sudden, he form a company and win a PNM tender for a bunkering license and then say, I didn't know it was a competitive field. Yeah. So why you don't go and run the 100 meters in the Olympics? You might win. Because you don't know, it mightn't be competitive. Yeah? That's Gilbert Peterson. Gilbert Peterson who gone to try and defend Paria, who allowed men to suffer and die for 39 hours in a pipe and didn't go to save them. Favorable economic outlook for TNT, says Alvin Hilaire. Look at that, I'm not lying, I would have put up all the things for you, but technical difficulties, right? The PNM Central Bank Governor Rowley, friend, all you out there know everything bad, everything pressure, your money not worth nothing. You go inside the grocery 100 and you come out with a little bag sort of thing. Yeah, Alvin here. But when I read the article now this is, what's this? Newsday. Well, Newsday PNM, right? But when I read the headline and then I read the article, what I read in the article didn't have nothing to do with the headline. They said favorable economic outlook for Trinidad and Tobago. Amid a good post-COVID-19 global recovery, the report highlighted significant falls in global energy prices over 3 months, surely of relevance to energy-reliant TNT. So global energy prices fall, but somehow they're trying to spin that and tell you, hey, that's good for we, You're getting less money, but that's good, man. Yes, let me hear how they're spinning that. Domestic inflation moderated in January. The English language is beautiful, According to the Central Statistical Office, headline inflation decelerated to 8.3%. So it was bad last year. It was 8.9. It's now 8.3, which means your money going down a further, your power purchasing parity and your dollar going down again across the board, in a basket of items. You suffering. Those of you who still have a work, plenty of you lost all your work. 126 digital workers lost their work as well as others. But those who still have a work, your money buying less and less. But the central bank governor come to tell you what? It moderate 8.3. 8.3%, Yes, moderate. Food inflation remained at 17.3%, with smaller hikes for fish, breads, and cereals. The latest estimates of growth in 2022 at 2.5% reflected a relatively favorable performance in the energy sector. They now tell you the top energy sector collapsed for the last 3 months. It's really 6 months. Right? Energy prices collapsing. The budget was pegged at $92.50 and barrel of oil now is about $76. It was pegged at $6 US per MMBTU and right now it's $2.40 something cents. So pressure, they're running a deficit of about $20 billion, billion. And they're coming to tell you now, well, we might get 2.5% growth. Well, if you are 5 foot tall and you shrink 2 feet, so you're going down to 3 foot tall, and you grow 2 inch or 2.5 inch, so you're now 3 foot 2.5. You're tall? You're back to your normal 5 foot height, or you're still short, no tail. These people are so dishonest. Alvin Hilaire, you have no shame, you balize, juice drinking clown. He continued. The outlook is for 2023 favorable, barring major external shocks. By shock after shock after shock we get in. Prices dwindling, commodity prices going down, no gas being found, no negotiation, no intelligence in the Ministry of Energy, no future prospect. Dragon gas, they're going to lock up somebody, but you talk about dragon gas? Imbot, and then Imbot now, the great magician. They should call him, what's the magician? The amazing Mumford. Imbot is just make up a story and then debate the story that he make up. Nobody in the country say anything about devaluing the dollar. Imbot come out and say, boy, what to talk about, boy? This country in a mess, economy in a mess, I don't know what's going on. Well, let me make up a story for them. Hey! If only devalue the dollar, things gonna be bad, things gonna be, you're gonna have hyperinflation, and if you devalue the dollar, the people money will disappear. But who said to devalue the dollar, Imbot? Imbot had a whole discussion about that, And then he's talking about it will have hyperinflation. We have that already. We have stagflation. We have increasing unemployment and inflation. You know how dotish you have to be to have increasing unemployment and inflation at the same time? Inflation is when it have plenty money running after little bit of goods. So the price go up. But when people have no work, they have no money, so it's less money going after the same goods. The prices should go down. But then when you simultaneously have an incompetent government and productivity and production and foreign direct investment and everything lacks, you have what you call stagflation. And we bordering on hyperinflation. He going to discuss if we devalue the dollar. Poor sales at Otaheite Bay force vendors to dump fish and all. Because people cannot afford the fish. And on top of that, fish prices skyrocketing. Because the government removed regular gas. Kamla will bring back regular gas for fishermen. Locusts now. Me I know if we in the days of Moses, you know. Something going on. Earlier you might be right, boy. The Obi are the evil. The man make a deal with the devil and it's evil because look, locusts invade homes and destroy crops in Mayaro and Rio Claro, you know. I cannot make this up. Locusts, all you better really pray for true. You understand? In this Holy Week coming up here, in Easter, Caracas corruption crackdown could delay dragon discussion. This is what the Guardian printing, eh? No, I set a man. Let me give all that story first before I start this. You all remember Marianne Jones and how she was running good and in Sydney winning gold medals and becoming the greatest female athlete of all time and so on. When we thought she was running clean and we were saying, well, she born in Belize and we kind of Caribbean taking some of the pips. And then all of a sudden in 2003, 2004, we start to hear something about Balco and the Claire and a kind of new synthetic performance enhancer that they were taking to cheat. Well, you remember that? You know how we became aware of that? How the world became aware of that? A man didn't get his money. One of the cheaters didn't get the money. One of the people involved in the corruption and the conspiracy didn't get his money. So he sell out the whole caboodle. Let me tell you, in Venezuela now, there seems to be a shake-up and a breakdown between Maduro and other people who were involved in conspiracy to defraud, corruption with oil and gas shipments. Wilmer Ruperti has been called in for questioning and 20 others locked up. Do you all remember Wilmer Ruperti? Now I will, and Vishnu will post it up after. I will remind you. Remember Wilmer Ruperti. Remember when you couldn't come home in COVID-19 and Delcy Rodriguez landed a jet approved by Small Pin and some officials, a sanctioned jet landed and ended up face to face with the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Keith Christopher Rowley, and Newman George Paria, Delcy Rodriguez. And then I went in the Senate and I asked Franklin Khan after we brought out all the information. Because we thought it was just one shipment of the Aldan, 226,000 barrels, of which 149,000 barrels they say came here to Trinidad and Tobago. Remember that imbroglio? And Franklin Khan then admitted that in April 2020 it wasn't 148,000 barrels. In April, it was 1.2 million. So the government of Trinidad and Tobago, Keith Christopher Rowley Paria, Newman George, had planned to conduct business with Wilmer Ruperti to the millions of barrels of gas per month. But the U.S. had the Coast Guard and the naval assets in the Caribbean. So when the Aldan turned off its transponder, an American Coast Guard official gave and bust the story to a reporter in Venezuela. And that's how we found out about what came into Pointe-a-Pierre, what went out, and it went to Venezuela. Paria Newman George, without signing it, put out an official press release and talk about the payment being made, 15 million US into RBC account, etc. But remember, I had the documents, and I show you that on the invoice, never had RBC account. It had Paria, First Citizens Bank account 37A, Savannah, Queens Park, Savannah. You see how I remember the document? All you remember that? And the media wouldn't touch the story. Well, right now, all who involved, Bumsy clapping like this. Because you see, something happened in Venezuela, and some people getting shake out, lock up, and story breaking. Because clearly, somebody didn't get the money. Because let me tell you what's going on. A week after Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela signed a non-disclosure agreement with Douglar, Minister Tariq El-Assami resigned amid allegations of corruption. We also have billions in Venezuelan shipments. Billions in Venezuelan shipments, oil shipments, gas shipments, fuel shipments, coal shipments vanish. One startup list as it's addressed a small home in a working class district. Now, if all you want to hear this, think about Bridgemans, think about PNM, think about Rowley, think about ES Euro Shipping, think about Trafigura PTE, think about the refinery, think about Roger, think about Imbat, putting in clause number 7 of the 10 conditionalities for Patriotic to get the refinery, saying that they had to sign a MOU with Trafigura PTE, which is Wilmer Ruperti. Remember the shipment of gasoline left Italy under Shell, changed to Trafigura PTE halfway, came in to Pointe-à-Pitre Trafigura PTE and left as ES Euro Shipping. And we ain't know where the money went and where it was paid because the wrong invoice had the wrong bank account on it. Remember that? And Asha Javid also saw laying down upwards, laying down on she back reading upwards. She saw a sanction clause. Remember all that nonsense? And the media did not want to investigate. Well, hold on to your britches. Because we didn't know Marianne Jones was cheating until 2009. 9 years after the gold medals. But the story started bust in 2004 when a man didn't get his money. Well, listen to what's going on in Venezuela now. One startup lists as its address a small home in a working class district. Remember when they were selling the refinery just now and Senator Wade Mark said, but look at this, it's a small house somewhere here. That is the office for people who are going to buy a $7 billion, $13 billion refinery. The two electrical engineers, remember when Wade Mark was that story and now it all gone quiet? See if you see similarities, and then know that some people in Trinidad and Tobago who were making deals and bringing in people like Astrubal Chavez to meet during COVID in the Prime Minister residence, straight on a sanctioned jet, and he didn't know it was PDVSA official. All of them, Bumsy clapping now, because somebody oversaw, hey, get him money, okay. One startup lists as its address a small home in a working class district in Venezuela's capital, whose owner has never heard of the firm. Another is a Hong Kong-based shell company created in 2020. Yet another one belongs to a Spanish commodities trader indicted in the US for allegedly helping Russian oligarchs launder ill-gotten gains. They are among the dozens of obscure middlemen at the center of a new crackdown in Venezuela on corruption in the state-run oil industry that has government insiders scurrying for cover. Well, government insiders, they're scurrying. I want to know who's scurrying here because they have no control here. This is not where you pick your commissioner of police or you want to pick your commissioner in Venezuela. I don't know. You're going to pick the Attorney General in Venezuela. You're going to put pressure on the DPP in Venezuela and in the international court. I telling all you tonight, somebody Bumsy's clapping outside in Trinidad and Tobago tonight with what is taking place in Venezuela. Because clearly, somebody didn't get the money. Maduro audits PDVSA and Ruperti. So Maduro and Ruperti fall out. Ruperti, very close to them PNM in Trinidad and Tobago. All your media didn't want to pick it up. All you didn't want to save Trinidad and Tobago. All you want Rowley to be able to do what he wants. Well, all right. And Vishnu, will play the video after and post it up for you to remember when I went through all the details with all the information. And customs officers here, somebody who signed that need to get locked up because they signed the documents 54 days after the vessel left. Where in the world that could happen? That a ship could come in, leave a port, and customs documents drawn up and signed 54 days after it gone? But all they didn't want to take it on because PNM in control and Rowley and them could do what they want. All right. And we go show the video of Rowley when Kamala bust it on them with the Delcy Rodriguez flight. Remember Rowley? Run out the parliament to call a press conference and start a stutter. I thought it was my boy Jack Warner. He started about Astruban Chavez. All right. RIC chairman, we will consider phased rate hike. Yes, you're saying that now? Mr. Chairman, Mr. RIC, the whole country knows that you've been unmasked as a PNM party group. All of y'all from Dawn Calendar, you was not a PNM board, my lady. You was not appointed by the PNM cabinet to sit on a PNM board and smiling and playing independent now. Please show me one person other than the PNM cabinet. One citizen who came to the RIC consultations and said, yes, RIC, give him it. I love the service of TNTech. I get it. They are amazing. I want to pay more for it. Please play that recording for me. But look at the consultation in Diego Martin. You see, when you're in a cult, that's what happens, you know. People supporting PNM. And so shame they can't even come out. They just supporting and they don't know why they're supporting because the mother says support and the grandmother says support and Dr. Williams still alive. Minister man, you get away today, boy. We had video, picture, image, all kind of thing for you today, Minister man. But the Minister man come to tell you citizens, your electricity and water rates are the lowest in the world. So you have to pay more for it. And you're all ungrateful. When you have no water, 8,000 all in Freeport, Couva, Chickland down there. When he sent 178 truckloads, you all are too ungrateful. That's what the man say. The worst minister of public utilities in history. But when you see, TNT's electricity and water rates are the lowest. But hear what the people saying. Because when I walk the ground, let me tell you something. PNM afraid to call election. They can't call it because they will get a blow. If you all thought Patrick Manning got a licking in 2010, Patrick Manning was not hated. People thought he was going off, right? He had a little spiritual advisor and church, and he was going on a little off. But nobody hated Manning. People hate Keith Christopher Rowley. And people who vote for him, not me, I hate him long time. I know he long time. I know he since 1986. I see my blood crawl from a long time. He's not a scumbucket now. He's a born scumbucket. But people now figuring out on the ground. But listen to people. Yes, for no water and no lights, says Sushila Ring. Jennifer Ramdin, salaries too. So is healthcare, so is system wages, so is government services, and people just giving him licks after licks. You know, that same Marvin Gonzalez. Remember when Barry Padarat and myself caught the acting CEO in the Joint Select Committee of WASA, Inter-WASA, and Nanga, the chairman of WASA. So much so them gone and fire a good film, the then acting CEO. But remember what Rowley and Marvin Gonzalez were trying to tell the country, but we brought the information, the truth out to the population. Trying to blame the Salcott and the UNC for the water woes and WASA woes. Remember that? And they were lying and balling out. The Salcott, you're paying $1.80, $1 US and 80 cents per cubic meter, and it's not, it's $1. But the PNM company that they keep quiet 7 Cs, that's 182 US per cubic meter and so on. But the truth of the matter is that having crashed the energy sector, because understand this, desalinated water was designed for the energy sector, the booming energy sector, so that potable resources would not have to be utilized to cool pipe and to cool steel and all them things. And WASA would make a profit of $5 per cubic meter in the energy sector. But here comes Rowley and Smallpin to negotiate gas price and so on, crash the entire energy sector. 11 companies shut down in Point Lisa. The steel industry shut down. So the demand for industrial water goes down. But you have a take-or-pay contract. So when you're incompetent in one area, it impacts another area. So you have to still buy the water. But a sensible UNC government would buy the water and make a profit on it, because the energy sector and downstreamers would be booming. Foreign direct investment would be increasing. But they try to attack this Alcott. But here the point. They're saying that the woes of the water got worse. Now, how it could get worse, I don't know, because we down to 12% 24/7 supply. In 2014, Kamala Prasad Bisasa and Ganga Singh had it up at 74% 24/7 supply in your house. The PNM down to 12%, and say that in the last 3 weeks it has gotten worse because the Alcott has a buildup of algae. But I thought it was bad talking this Alcott. But now you need this Alcott so much that if this Alcott have some algae and it's slowing down the flow of the water coming out, that you blaming this Alcott's low production for bad service to people. I thought this Alcott wasn't ready. I thought UNC was wrong for this Alcott. It's better all you say, thank the Lord for this Alcott. Gonzales, TNT's electricity and water rates the lowest in the world. Yes, but Mon Diablo residents want pipe-borne water. Penal residents protest dry taps on World Water Day. And this I have from Aranguez. I will just flash it. I want to show people name, you know, all you're vindictive. This is a man receipt from 4 years ago, right? In 2019, March 25th, 2019. A man paid for his property to get connected to WASA, to get water. He paid $737.50, right? He ain't get a drop of water up there now. 4 years and 2 weeks later, not a drop. Gone into WASA about 55 times, right in Branch Road, Aranguez. You know, WASA sending here a bill for the oxygen that coming through the WASA line, because no water come through, not one drop. They charging he for the water that they reach, and they charging he for a standpipe down the road after he paid the $737 for a water connection that the air get. And all in Aranguez Branch Road, the Alsing citizens have told you and begged you, at least 27 citizens on 3 or 4 occasions each, that they can't get water. They're supposed to change the pipe down to this. They're getting water 2 times a week, and when it comes, it can't fill a barrel. The Alsing in St. Joseph, and you're not doing anything. You're not taking them on. You're ignoring them. You're so busy studying where your wife getting the next contract. And the Alsing, Gonzales, why does UNC hate Trinidad and Tobago? What is interesting? Minister man, the UNC hates Trinidad and Tobago? Let me hear you, boy. Let me hear your analysis. Public Utilities Minister Marvin Gonzales has asked, why does the UNC hate this country and its people? He asked during his contribution to the debate, right? He slammed Mohit and the UNC for continuing what he said was a false narrative, that the PNM is to blame for everything that is wrong in TNT. He reiterated his view that the author of Mohit's speech was full of hate, full of darkness, and I dare say evil. Really, Gonzales? So who in charge of the water? Who in charge of the leaking pipe? Who in charge of the 55% of the potable water that is thrown out under our infrastructure, that crumbles our roads and our bridges? Who's in charge of WASA? Who's in charge of the leaks? Who's in charge of performing? Not the PNM, and all the government didn't champer say you'll be in our face and really we like it or not, like a jumpy from Lekoto. So you're not in charge? Well, everybody evil who say that the PNM is responsible. So you are the government, but you're not responsible for nothing. Okay, Minister of Man. Look your own newspaper, Express. Public trust leaking away. Well, Express, all you evil too, all you hate Trinidad and Tobago because all you find the Minister of Man ain't no good. During the time at this crease, WASA and the RIC would benefit from a better understanding of the environment in which they are seeking to justify financial burdens on a public worn down by pandemic economics and growing distrust of those utility providers. You see how Express is a PNM? They're talking about the utility providers, WASA and TNTech. But they ain't saying that WASA and TNTech is PNM, It's PNM in charge, the government in charge. Whoever is the government in charge of WASA and TNTech, they ain't putting that, They're trying to separate the PNM from the WASA and TNTech. It's amazing. Look at there, I can't make this up with this bag of dunce they have. All they don't buy the papers, I had to buy it to read it, to match it up for all, The public feels set upon by essential service providers and in general, government services and departments from whom they receive disservice and disrespect. They are therefore unlikely to react politely to demands to eke out even more money. Because he say he come in to charge you more for water rate too. And the RIC is just a PNM party group. It's like call Jelani. You want that exemption? Call Jelani man party group 4. You all remember that? And at this stage, I would have played the video where Rowley said, I was so happy when I won to choose a man to be the Minister of Public Utilities who knew absolutely nothing about WASA. And now we get absolutely no service, no water, and he coming to charge you more for the oxygen in your tap. No sign of WASA's transformation. Hey, Marvin Gonzalez, Minister of Man, tell Eclipse Eli stop measuring your inseam and read this. Look, you're saying that the UNC is haters? The whole country knows you're incompetent. Only you don't know it, and probably Eclipse. Because all you're too busy with all your head down in a pillow to understand what's going on out in the country. No signs of WASA's transformation. On World Water Day, which was commemorated yesterday, the biggest trending story in TNT was about a judgment delivered against the Water and Sewerage Authority, WASA, in the Port of Spain High Court. That alone sums up the state of the public utility, which has consistently failed for decades. No, Guardian. Just about 2014, 9 years ago, WASA was performing very well. 74% of people were getting 24/7 water supply with the same cost, the same input, no increased rates. Nice try, Guardian. You see how they like to lie? Unfortunately, Russo's case is not an isolated one. It is one of several worrying examples of how WASA has failed to provide the service it was set up to do. Not the PNM, WASA. Look at them. They play the playbook real good. I'm just showing all you. In this nation where leaking pipelines and dry faucets are the norm rather than the exception, consumers have very few options when it comes to managing their usage. WASA has become so well known for underperformance that a recent claim by Public Utilities Minister Marvin Gonzalez that a backlog of 5,000 leaks had been eradicated was greeted with widespread skepticism. It wasn't greeted with skepticism. We know he lie. We drive in the road, we see the leak. They go Martini, I drive for 1 kilometer and count 7 leaks. The leaks gushing. They may fix nothing. They lie. Don't say it was greeted with skepticism. On World Water Day, many WASA customers were without a pipe-borne supply, and leaking transmission lines were detected in many parts of the country. 4.5 billion gallons of potable water lost every month for the last 6 years. Go and check the Joint Select Committee. Fix what leaks. And then this man, Minister Man, right? Like the Vaseline clog his ears and his brain. This man, boy, yes, man. All the sue WASA. He is WASA, he is the government, He telling you, I can't help, I can't do nothing, all the sue them. And then when people sue them, who have to pay? You have to pay. The taxpayer have to pay. You have to pay the lawyers that the PNM will hire and get more brief from the Attorney General office and more Gilbert Peterson and more PNM lawyer and more kind of indemnity. Yeah, boy, use this indemnity. Oh, no, boy, that's illegal. Same lawyer arguing against their own indemnity, Sue if you have a legitimate claim. And then WASA, here in the newspaper, WASA should resolve issues with citizens before reaching the court. Really? You think so? But then you would have to say that the PNM is incompetent and must go. Hard luck Newsday. But then the Express tries to normalize that, So Marvin Gonzalez is trying to separate PNM from the WASA. So the PNM minister who appoint the PNM board, who appoint all the positions of acting CEO, acting HR manager, acting engineer, acting, all beholden to the PNM. The PNM in control. The PNM failed. But them trying to say, no, it's WASA. WASA and the PNM is two different things. And here comes the Express now to try and help them. Do you think WASA has been taking its responsibilities seriously? You see how smart they are? Look at this. So why didn't they ask, do you think the PNM minister is taking his responsibilities seriously? Why didn't they ask if they feel the Prime Minister and his cabinet are taking their water responsibilities and the electricity responsibilities properly? Why didn't they ask that? So they're trying to put in your mind, nah, it's not the PNM fault. They have nothing to do with that. And they continue, but all you blast them with that. WASA, Minister Marvin Gonzalez says, WASA is managing water supply well through the dry season. All you think I lie, All it back to front, all that confusing all that. But believe me, I'm reading it, I ain't making it up. Minister, WASA managing water supply well through the dry season. Well, boy, well, Minister man, you're lucky, but I will deal with this in the next Douglar politics, right? Minister man, I'm putting you on notice. Who's Adande Pigot, Minister man? What is your relationship with this Adande Pigot? What you so like about this Adande Pigot? Minister man, how many contractors are there in Lopino Bonnet? I walk through there, they have lots of small contractors who could pave road, who could do work, who could fix pipe, who could build house. Minister man, did you write a letter out of the whole Lopino and Bonnet West area and recommend just 3 contractors to get jobs? Just 3? Did you write Minister Kazim Hussein and recommend 3 contractors to get work? And one of them is your boy Adande Pigot, who you also put on your office staff at the constituency office at a salary of $7,000 per month as a research officer, Adande Pigot, who is also employed as a public servant? Is that what you have gone there to do? What is this Adande? What Adande giving you so? What Adande do you? What you love Adande so for? You are there to represent all the people of Lopino Bonnet West. And you find one man who already have a work. Because in Lopino Bonnet West, 16% of young fellas under the age 25 are unemployed. But you find a man who don't have a work, give him a next work, and then recommend his company that only registered in October 2020, Greenworks, to Kazem Hussein to get more work. What kind of work he doing for you? All you putting down work? What it is? But I go deal with you, Mr. Minister of Man, because that the Constitution says the resources of the country must be equitably shared and made available to all. I want to see the advertisement that you put out in the papers, Facebook, or anywhere else to invite all contractors from Lopino Bonnet to come in and register. And where's the letter that you sent from your constituency office with the list of contractors? Because off the top of my head, there are at least 65 contractors in the Lopino Bonnet West area who could do road, who could do trenching and box train and housing, at least 65 in that area. So how come you select these 3? And did you really sign that letter? Don't you know that the police could come and knock on your door? Really, that's how the system works? That's the corporate governance? That's the tender procedure? That's the advertisement? That the MP writes on a letter to that these my 3 contractors here? Get them thing? Really? Mr. Minister man, when we come back to Douglar politics, and when I have the images to show the people, I'm giving you advance notice. I'm going to ask. I don't ask you here already. You bumsy clapping. Eh? Don't worry. Cliff go take care of that for you. Right? So Adande Pigat doing nice things for you. Whatever Adande doing, it's dandy. SCA questions to answer. No flights to Tobago. But all you remember when Kamala was Prime Minister? Flights to Tobago, last flight used to be 8:25 p.m. Kamala Prasad Bisesa institute flights till 2 a.m. Flights right through to Tobago, as well as having the sea bridge running flawlessly, making sure that the boats purchased by Patrick Manning, the Express and the Spirit, were functioning well with the Canadian company, and then providing the Galicia to provide cargo, moving fast. But the PNM come and give all your bridgeman's Kobo Stars still running crooked money according to Rowley. Over 220 million in crooked money. But no flights to Tobago, and it's Easter, you know. It's Easter. Avery Brown. I see a post. Avery Brown. Avery Brown take credit about some resolution in the UN. Trinidad and Tobago resolution. When we hear the facts, Emil Krong and them show the facts. It's 120 countries jointly sponsor a resolution. Every Brown come and say, look what I do. Hey, if all you get a chance to vote out these people and all you don't do it wholeheartedly, I had to laugh because I don't want the stress I get old. You understand? Every Brown come and say, yes, Trinidad and Tobago, the sponsor, we got our resolution. When you check, it's 120 countries, yeah? And every Brown trying to take pips for that. SCA questions to answer. The minister gone. SCA tests leak out again. Everything is leaked, like WhatsApp leak, information leak, results leak, paper leak. But she gone Jamaica to let wholeness out she up. Right? As Education Minister Dr. Nayan Gadsby-Dolly pursues a police investigation into yet another leak of an official secondary entrance assessment SCA examination paper, it is an opportune time for her to update the country on the 2020 debacle in which a senior ministry official was said to have exchanged the names of first and second place top SCA performers. You want Gadsby-Dolly tell me about that? What she had to tell me is, did the official do it by herself, or did she have the endorsement and encouragement of higher-ups? Still waiting for quantum leap, says the Express. What's that quantum leap? Because we running backwards. We leaping backwards in everything. The roads are the worst in our history. The economy is the worst in our history. The foreign exchange crisis is worse than 1983. Education is worse than ever. School violence worse than ever. Murder rate worse than ever. Job loss worse than ever. Energy sector worse than ever since 1908. Everything gone quantum leap backwards with Rowley. Including the minister man. He going backwards freely. He backing back on anything. We congratulate Dr. Gadsby-Dolly on the ministry, but this development is very far from the quantum leap required to bring Trinidad and Tobago public service into the 21st century. While ongoing problems with the EFAC system and online filing of documents at the company's registry online system do not inspire much public confidence in the government's digital program, we hope the Education Ministry's rollout of its Ministry of Education Access Portal will be efficient. The Express still hoping, after 8 years of incompetence, inefficiency, mash-up, and backwards movement, the Express is still hopeful that Gadsby-Dolly and the PNM will improve. You find that not correct. At the same time, even Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley took issue with critics who complain about nothing happening at the Ministry of Digital Transformation. The public is yet to see, though, a conceptual framework, strategic plan, and implementation schedule that will provide a comprehensive view of the ministry's priorities and its plan for the way forward. Without this information, assuming it exists, why are you assuming it exists when Rowley is a franco-meant pathological liar? You're still assuming it exists? The public cannot judge the ministry's performance Well, you could have judged the ministry's performance right here. I would have tell Vishnu to play that video. Kamla and Tim Gopi singing 2011. Beautifully. The voice, silky smooth voice of Gideon Hanumansi saying, we're moving into the new world. Laptops, digital transformation. I would have played that video for you. That was 12 years ago. But with the PNM, we gone back to latrine. Right? All they used to flush all the toilet. All they had a pell bucket down there now. School violence. Girls again. I would have shown you a video, I must say, of a youth man. I give him a clap. His own family member, his cousin, was trying to rob some younger schoolboys in uniform. And he hit his cousin and slap. Well, I don't agree with the slap, but I mean, the bellas, it was deserved because you're trying to rob the boys. And he sent his cousin home and said, don't rob the youth men. To that young fella, well done, my brother. That is brilliant. That is amazing. That gave me goosebumps. I have pride in you. You protected your younger schoolmates, even though it was your family member who was doing wrong. You better than the whole cabinet of the PNM. The PNM just sit down in the cabinet and agree and hide and sneak and approve cabinet notes for wrongdoers. A man has recused himself, go out and have a coffee and come back in and the cabinet approve 23 million every 3 years for him, plus 38 million to outfit the building. The PNM cabinet is a cabinet of wrongdoers and recusals. But that young man showed that family or no family, I am doing good. What? Was it time? 8:45 already? I could real talk, boy. Without video, I thought I was only going to go an hour and then tell which. Let me go quickly then. Rowley, the liar of Nelson Gate, all you would have seen that. Rowley's PNM misconduct. Oh, God! I'm saving that for next show. Unlicensed children's homes continue to operate. Let me take off my glasses, so they say. Children, you know. Children. Rowley, the Prime Minister, receives a report since December 13, 2021. We're getting into halfway in 2023. And his government has done nothing to protect children. Children who are being abused and raped, battered, beaten, and burned with cigarettes in children's homes. So much so that his minister in the office of the Prime Minister, wherever she named, Greenverb and them, unlicensed children homes say they've been given no direction to cease operations despite not meeting the government's March 31st compliance deadline. They give failing centers, abusing children. The mere fact that you give them some extension and deadline, them give them that and they meet it and they're still operating and children are still at risk. Help parents raise children, says Rowley. I ain't saying enough. Look, Rowley calls for help. Behavior deteriorating in a religious vacuum. Behavior is deteriorating since you are the Prime Minister. The country and countries follow the leader. You are a teacher who used your power position to get pum-pum from a girl of school age. You are a Prime Minister who doesn't care about your colleague ministers who you appoint. You have fun fornicating with their wives. You promote deputies, deputy political leader and ministers because you get something. You abuse fellow cabinet ministers who dare to touch and dance and get through with your minister and deputy. And you talking about deterioration of behavior. You are the most abusive, pathological liar, disrespectful ignoramus in the whole of Trinidad and Tobago. If you were in that group talking with them schoolboys, the schoolboy would have slapped you. And you are talking about religious groups and religious bodies are not doing their job. You said you ain't taking no responsibility for the deterioration in our country and our youth going wild. But it is you who are in charge. And then he went to, you know, Douglar politics boy. Sorry. I went through and analyzed Kangaloo for her to show that she's not deserving of president. Forget that she's a PNM and all of that too, which is a valid point. But on qualification, on merit, that she's not worthy of that position. I went through all the resumes of Ellis Clark, Noor Hassel Ali, A.N.R. Robinson, George Maxwell Richards, Anthony Carmona, Paula May Weeks. I went through all of their resumes and showed you that this woman had no letters and things behind she name. She's an average Joe. You know them run quick and record time and give she the order of the Republic so she could put her award. She can have some letters behind she name. They run quick. But then you know what happened Trinidad and Tobago, my people? You want to know why our school violence is like that? And girls beating up on girls and fellas fighting and violence and crime and killing and man and no work and men dead. Man robbing garbage collector, man taking gun to rob man at $5. They rob a crab vendor. You want to know why we reached there? The front page of the newspaper will show you, you know. 3 of the most powerful men in Trinidad and Tobago stood up next to the president Kangaloo, the PNM president, the Balize lady, the lady who was ready to bully and shut down the opposition at any juncture, not caring about standing orders, rules, propriety, convention, democracy, nothing. She just cared about PNM. While she was there with her order of mediocrity, not order of merit, you know, order of mediocrity. Let me tell you something. If anybody come to give all that award again, all they say, I don't want that. Eh? Because people who deserve that should not have it watered down by people like Roshan Parasram and Kangaloo, this woman. But did you all see? And I have a son. Eh? I have 2 beautiful daughters too. But did you all see the 3 men who were on the front page, standing up there gleefully smiling? One was a man who used his power of position as a teacher to get pum-pum from a girl of school age and continues to be the #1 honor man in Trinidad and Tobago. Not caring whether his wife see, on TV, wherever. Woman digging in the chips, he don't care about if woman married or unmarried. He has no care in the world, no respect for anybody. Minister in the cabinet, no big thing. He taking the wife down in Carnage. But make children, Victoria Keys, all right. Fisherman, go mind them. Yes, that was one of them. The next one was one who get beat, run down the whole of tongue bareback, getting a cocktail from a sweet red man. Because he went, and one was horning the wife there, and the red man catch him. And the girl he was with, the junior attorney, now out of you within law school 1 or 2 years, had tears in her eyes. We don't know whether it was tears of ecstasy or tears of crying pain. That the next man in the picture. And the 3rd man in the picture can't keep his vest on when he in hotel room with man. That the 3 of them. And all they want to know why and them want to mentor women. You all see why we going backwards? We must be going through. All you better get rid of these people very, very quickly. Eh? Very quickly. Go and look at the picture. There are the 3 of them standing up there. So I supposed to watch that picture and say, hey, look, one of them say he want to mentor men. So he want to mentor my son. My son going to be 25. What I used to tell my son to go by he to do? Tell me what to tell my son. And if not to go by he, to go by Rowley, to tell Rowley, tell him what to do. Not to mind the children, to keep some inside, outside. Don't care about your partner, wife. Lash anything that pass back. If it back on you, say, hey. That's why I supposed to teach him. And what is the next one to teach him? Mama can hear your wife all the time and your children and things and go and lie down with any Tom, Dick and Harry there. And let them take picture and wear my ID card. What are supposed to do? Or they get rid of all them PNM, you know? And then they want to know why the young men in this country lost. Because they don't, where they go? What they looking at? All of the picture. It might be reversed, but all they go see it, man. Look at here. All they thought I lie. And if Archie was there, boy, just to let all you know that that's what's going on in this country. And while we are that, finally, Father God and Trinidad is not a real place, boy. This Easter, boy. This Palm Sunday, boy. I'm going to say something, and all it must be say I lie, right? An attorney general did not manage his ministry well, was so incompetent, so busy, and so distracted that a defense was not put in to a high-profile case, and the state, the taxpayers, lost $20.6 million. The Attorney General then lied and said the file was missing, and then called for investigation into himself and his ministry under his purview, under his direction, Section 54 of the Constitution. The government and the Attorney General and the Cabinet appoint a man who they appointed before, who like to do what them say, to investigate themselves. And then this man do an interim report on the investigation into the Attorney General. And then gone by the Attorney General with the Attorney General logo behind to shake his hand, to hand the man who investigate over the report under, to hand he the report. And Trinidad is a real place. Them investigate themselves and hand themselves a report and take a picture of themselves receiving the report. And all you print that on a front page and say, hey, we love Trinidad and Tobago. All you sweet too bad. Father Gordon, Trinidad and Tobago is not a real place. Good night.